Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Shopify Road to Glory, which is going to be a series where I start my very first online business and film the whole thing. Now, hopefully this will give us a bit more of an authentic and real and honest look at what starting a business actually looks like. You know, I'm not coming to you from LA in my Lamborghini selling an overpriced course. I'm coming to you from England in my bedroom with a whiteboard. Okay, this is going to be a real honest look at what starting a business is actually like. We're starting a Shopify store. We're going to try and get that store from 0 sales, which it is now currently, to £10,000 of sales. That's quite an ambitious target for a startup, and it will take us over 2 inventory cycles, but I think it'll be super interesting to see how we do, see if it's possible. Okay, so what are we selling? Well, basically reusable water bottles. Okay, not a world-beating idea, not groundbreaking, not super innovative, very simple, very easy. But there's a big market for it. Chili's sold £23 million in the UK alone last year. If you don't know who Chili's are, they're a water bottle manufacturer. And we're going to see if we can get a little slice of that pie. Okay, the business model is pretty simple. It's pretty, pretty bog standard Shopify, making money online structure. So we're sourcing the products from Alibaba. We've got an Indian supplier who's manufacturing the bottles as we speak, and he's going to send them over to me, and I'm going to post them out to people when they order. I've got a Shopify website that's already complete, and we're going to be getting sourcing our traffic from Facebook advertising, and that's going to be one of the things that we're going to follow pretty closely with this series is Facebook advertising testing. How do my ads perform? Are they good? Are they bad? We're going to follow advice from people online. Does it work? Does it not work? We're going to find out. Okay, so in this introductory video, we're going to look at a little bit about the strategy. So what are the goals here, and how are we going to do what we want to do? So first of all, the ultimate kind of end goal is to create a passive income source. We want to develop the business and the business model with this is going to be at the forefront of my brain. Okay, all decisions are going to be based on whether this is going to help us reach this goal of having a passive income source. So, we're not just making a fancy website and a good brand. We're trying to make a machine, a kind of ecosystem, which eventually can operate autonomously and on its own. So when we talk about a business ecosystem, Alex Becker gives a really good metaphor to describe this. So he talks about it as when you make your business, you think about it like making a greenhouse. So when you're making a greenhouse, it takes a lot of effort and initial investment to figure out the dimensions of the greenhouse, plan out where you're going to put it, what's the best glass to use, what's the best plants to put in there, plant pots, is the irrigation correct? But once you've done that initial workload and figured those problems out, the greenhouse can just do the work. You can plant your plants and they'll just grow. The greenhouse will do everything for you. And all we can do there is then just come into the greenhouse, harvest the fruit, harvest the vegetables. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make our business ecosystem, our business greenhouse, and hopefully get this working autonomously and just be able to harvest that income as and when we can. So that's what this series is going to follow is not only trying to reach the £10,000 sales target, but also trying to, is it actually possible to create true passive income, to create a business which is automatic, which just runs and runs and runs and runs. People online say it is. We're going to figure it out. Okay, and the next part of our strategy is what's super important for me in the initial kind of launch phase of a product, and this is the idea of MVP, or minimum viable product. Now, what an MVP is it's basically like the bare bones, bare essential, most basic product that you can viably take to the market and sell. And the reason we do this is to firstly try and keep costs down and actual time spent down, but it's also to make sure that any additional investment decisions that I'm making are going to be based on consumer data. So I'm not going to be trying to preemptively guess what the consumer might want. I'm going to let them tell me. So let me give an example of this. So as you said, we're selling reusable water bottles, amazing water bottles. And so packaging as an example. Now packaging is a really important part of the modern day consumer experience. Just look at the, unboxing the latest iPhone videos on YouTube. They've got millions and millions of views. People literally sit there at home and watch people peel back the plastic and open the box. And I've done it, I'm sure everyone's done it, right? So packaging is really, really important. But is it essential? No, it's not essential, right? I can wrap my bottle in bubble wrap and ram it in a cardboard box and send it off. My consumer's still going to get it, okay? And the reason I'm doing this now is because when I start to make those investments into things like packaging, I want to do it with consumer data. So let's say I start selling the product, I'm selling a few units here and there, and I find out that my product is really, really popular in the yoga community, let's say, okay? So, campers, they hate it. People who work in offices hate it. Chefs loathe it. But yoga people are, yogis, they absolutely love the product. So then, when I start to make the investment, time, money, investment into packaging, as our example here, I can actually ensure that I'm designing it and making it very specifically aimed at the yoga community. Therefore, I absolutely know 100% that I'm going to get a good return on that investment of time and money, because I know that my packaging is going to be perfect for my market. They're going to enjoy it, they're going to love it, and they're going to buy more of the product. Okay, and that's why we're kind of trying to do this kind of MVP strategy to start off, because we want to sell some, get the data, get the consumer data, and then begin to pivot our ideas, pivot our products, and make investments based on what we know. Okay, minimum viable product. As soon as you can get it to market, get it to market. And basically, that's what position we are in now. I've got a minimum viable product. I've got the website pretty much done. It's pretty much there. Advertising is kind of there, and it's super basic. We've got the products, and we're going to try and sell it on our Shopify store. And that's what we're going to try and document the whole thing. See if all this stuff online is if what people say online is true, that it is possible to do this. You can make a passive income stream and live off it with it. But yeah, so we've got our minimum viable product, and we're going to be, we can follow us kind of making tweaks and turns and pivots based on what consumer data we get back, and make investments based on those kinds of people that actually buy our product, rather than trying to guess who's going to buy it and making decisions based on that, because you can end up making costly mistakes through that. Okay, so that's basically it. We've got a simple product, we've got a very simple business model, and we're going to launch in a couple of weeks. I'm going to document the whole thing. This series is going to follow, mainly like the Facebook ad testing, the trying to come up with creative and interesting ways to engage customers, build traffic, boost sales, looking at our margins and cost base, and trying to kind of suck out as much profit as we possibly can. And that kind of more of like fast-paced, interesting post-launch phase of the business cycle. And then all the kind of, because basically what I've done over the past couple months, kind of getting us to this point, has been kind of quite a slow process of just me like learning and doing a bunch of courses and experimenting. And all the stuff that I've been doing in that kind of up to this point now, I'll make videos on differently away from this series to keep it separate. So is it possible? Is it possible to make a online store and a passive income source and make £10,000 of sales through Shopify, through Alibaba, through the kind of how to make money online, through the e-commerce space? Is it possible? Let's find out. So like, subscribe if you want to follow this and keep up to date. I don't know who's going to watch it, but comment if you're interested. Let's see how we do. Let's see if this is going to crash and burn, and I'm going to lose my savings, and we're going to fail miserably, or we're going to be e-commerce millionaires, and I'll be, you'll see me advertising, selling you bullshit courses. Let's find out.